living in New York and growing up in New York till I was about 18 years old. My father lived in California, and I always wanted to come to California and see what it was like. I met this amazing man who was a musician. His name was Lee Mallory, and he lived in Laurel Canyon, and he played in all the studio gigs in Hollywood. He played with a lot of bands. He knew everybody. He knew Ricky Nelson's people. Steve Martin was in the band with his roommate. It was a nice group of people. I was in heaven. I had my leather tools and my hole puncher, and I would make clothes for them and sit and make beautiful fringed shirts for my boyfriend. Soon after, my boyfriend and Doug got into hair. They took us along. We went on the road, and I had 2.5 years of just making fabulous costumes for crazy hippies that had a lot of money to spend and wanted to look like me. I got a phone call from Deke Productions that said, will you come in for an interview? We're doing a Hallmark show, 40 episodes with Ben Vereen, and they're a bunch of characters that are magically turned into these animals, and they teach young children life lessons. And there's a fox, there's a cockatoo, there's a builder beaver, there's a fox who's very smart. So come in and let's see your resume. I hung up and I thought, oh my God, this is great, but I don't have a resume. I don't have time to write these things. I don't have time to take pictures. How am I going to go in and get this job? So I took all the feathers and the beads and leather and everything I could gather up. I filled it in my car. I went to the interview and I said, well, the cockatoo, I would take these feathers and I would put them here, and then I would bring them out this way, and I would put this on here, and we'll make it like this and that. I left the interview and I'm so glad that's over. The next day they called me and they said, please do the costumes for us. So a couple months of making the costumes at my house with some friends and working diligently every day, trying to make them as amazing as we possibly could. We got it done. They aired. And then 7 months later, I got a little notice in the mail that said, you're nominated for an Emmy for Zoobly Zoo. You know, it was a great experience. I'm very, very grateful that I won that Emmy. I did leave it with a friend for 20 years on her counter, and I came back and collected it a few years ago to put in Mother Plucker because I think they get a kick out of it. And I did something for Princess Diaries. They asked me to make a giant pillow for the cat, and the director came in and said, oh, that's too big, take that away. And I went, what if you take the stuffing out and put the cat on top of it? Because I thought the prop man was going to be very upset that he spent that in the budget and it wasn't used. But I worked on a lot of sets and all of that sort of thing. When I was on tour with hair, you didn't use anything dyed. You didn't buy clothes in a store. Everything was made by you. So I sort of brainwashed myself that I had to find these things from the planet and I had to create something beautiful again out of them. I once left a necklace in a car as a love gift for a fellow I had a crush on, and he thought I was trying to put a voodoo curse on him because it had bones and beads and 2 birds' feet hanging down. But this was when I was very young. You have to just keep going. You have to take your talent and renew it and try again, because you never know. There's a miracle around every corner. You just don't know how long the block is. Kaylin's told me that. She used to always say that to me, and I'll never forget that. And another friend of mine always says, don't look back, you're not going that way. And that's a good one too. So, you just have to try. And you can't give up, because people give up. They don't know what they would have become one day later had they just gone to that next day and opened the door and looked and tried. And it's not hard. It's not difficult. I'm a single woman. I've supported myself very well. I have everything I need. I'm very happy. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.